Project Kiel is a program that falls under the St. Martin de Porres Parish that has been placed here to work with the children, teachers, and staff of St. Martin's de Porres School. Our plan primarily is to work with helping them further their academic success, but also a healing process to some of the experiences they've had throughout their lives. We have had various different programs under Project Kiel that focused a lot on the academics. But what the partnership with UNICEF allowed us to do is to dig a bit deeper on what the child and parent is experiencing. Essentially, what we did was we did a post-traumatic stress disorder assessment with over 200 students. And the whole concept behind it was essentially to explore what traumatic incidents each child, and in some cases parent, has experienced, and how that is presently impacting their lives, and then obviously to do what it takes to address those issues.
PTSD stands for post-traumatic stress disorder. It's actually an anxiety disorder, and it's caused by experiencing events that are extremely stressful or distressing. When I was doing the PTSD evaluations, I was amazed because I didn't realize the level of exposure that these kids have to different traumas, and many of them have multiple traumas that they are exposed to. This includes domestic violence, sexual abuse, physical abuse, and just gang violence. You know, many of them have been in situations where their life was at risk.
The predominant traumatic events these children are exposed to is for sure gun violence. They have been present to either hearing, witnessing firsthand a shooting of some sort, seeing a dead body was also a common occurrence. We were developed mainly based on the cry from the teachers. The teachers kept on saying, you know, the kids are going through so much, they need a counselor, they need therapy, there's so much things going on in their lives at home, we have to constantly compete with it. And I think that's been one of our biggest focus, to see how we can help the children heal.
PTSD can affect a child in many ways. When it comes to schoolwork, maybe you're in class trying to do your work and you're getting flashbacks about maybe a sexual abuse trauma that happened or shooting, and in that instance, even though the trauma is not around, you might be experiencing the same symptoms that you had during the actual traumatic event.
We meet weekly as a staff to discuss each case. What happens then is we create a plan for each child, and it varies. Sometimes we need to get the parent involved immediately, sometimes we need to get the teacher involved immediately, sometimes we need both. So what happens is each child that comes to us for individual counseling is then we create an individualized plan per child. Project Heal tries to work from infant 1 right up to standard 6 with the students. We cannot just do these one-time programs. That is really important for one, the program to be holistic, and also two, for it to be with a child for a while. You know, a lot of these children, based on what they've experienced, trust is huge. A lot of the teachers are either from this neighborhood or a similar neighborhood. And what we ended up doing a couple years back was the same PTSD assessment for the teachers. And what ended up happening, we realized how traumatized they themselves were. We are really blessed in St. Martin's to have Project Heal. It is not a project that any other school, primary school, or any other school in Belize has. What makes us stand out essentially is, yes, the cry initially started with we want a counselor. But when we got in and we started talking to the teachers, talking to the parents, working with the kids, we realized that it was more need for a holistic care.
Long term, I really want the children to be able to have the tools that will allow them to deal with their environment, because we can't always change the environment around them, and the issues that they face are very complex. And so it's very important that they can know how to manage their anger and to have hope and to have a positive outlook despite everything happening.
There is some academic success that we're looking for, but I think bigger than that, I think we're trying to see how we can come in and heal and work with the child. So not only that he or she is academically successful, but that he or she is also more whole as a person and will be a good contributing citizen of Belize ultimately.